communication to you as quickly as possible. So please make sure that you're checking your emails. We'll be providing a lot of resources through email for you to use with your kids. So be looking for that. We will send out kind of Q&As because, I mean, every hour we're getting emails or phone calls for different things. And so we're just kind of building the ship as it goes. So we will be sending out Q&As periodically for common questions that we're getting that I hope will help you. We would like to have a weekly Zoom meeting. And so we decided to do Thursdays at 10 o'clock. And so we will have another Zoom meeting next Thursday at 10 o'clock, unless there's something else that comes out that we need to meet with you about. So let me see, I'm going through my list of things. Let's talk about your lesson plans and what's going on with your instruction. The state, as you know, said that school is going to be closed, the school buildings and school is going to be closed for the 3 weeks. But what's really important is that we still provide instruction and educate our students best we can. So we had each of you turn in lesson plans. We would like for you to continue to give us your weekly lesson plans. And there's 2 parts to this. One of the major reasons, and Dana's kind of thinking ahead, is that if we go longer than this 3 weeks, and let's just say, for example, let's say we go to the end of the school year and Los Lunas Schools is showing that we are providing instruction, there's a possibility that maybe we won't have to make it up in the summertime because we're instructing our kids now. And so if we show documentation and proof that we're educating our kids, that's super important for that piece of it. What's that? Oh yeah, also Mr. Branch was telling me that, you know, Zoom is a great platform for you to use with your kids. If you would like, you can also set up a Zoom and you can record, but we're gonna get into that more here in a little bit with Claire. She's gonna talk to you about some resources that you can use. But as far as your lesson plans and grading, I just need to encourage you to be flexible, to be compassionate with this time, because every kid doesn't have access to internet or even a device right now. So, you know, we're getting comments through social media about parents upset because teachers are putting zeros into Power School and things like that. We have to be ready, because, like I said, kids, not everybody has access. So I'm asking, apparently a parent had said that we had told them we're putting zeros in if they don't do the work. That's kind of the least of our worries right now. We're just utilizing this time that you have to just instruct your kids the best you can. You don't have to give these long, drawn-out assignments. If there's a certain concept that you want to you know, do or whatever, but don't give them 11 hours of work, because keep in mind that they have 7 classes, and so they have other things that they may have to do, as well as taking care of, you know, siblings that are at home and whatnot. So just be conscientious about the amount of work that you're sending home. Oh, let's see. Oh, one other thing too is, as far as closing assignments, I highly encourage you not to close assignments. So keep them open in Canvas, because kids are going to be doing these things at different times. So if you close something, it really puts them at a bind. So please keep your assignments open. I'm going to go ahead and Lacey, or let me unmute you, Lacey or Claire, Anthony, I'm going to unmute you guys to see. I think you can unmute yourself. I can't, you have to unmute me because I have to.
So I'm going to talk real quick because I don't know what else has been happening on campus. I'm not on campus either. I know our admin team is, our 244-day staff is. You heard Darian talking about how the custodians are on campus, our cafeteria folks are on campus. Like they're dealing with decision making every day. This is an ever-changing situation, but for me, on my end, I'm at home with my kiddos and I'm here to support you. So I put it in the chat, my phone number's in the chat, my phone number's in my emails. If you or your collaborative teams are wanting to Zoom, if you're wanting to work through certain things like Google Classroom or Canvas or just lesson planning ideas, please, please, please let me know. I'm happy to help, and I know Claire and I have been talking about having some like standing Zoom open invite to anyone who wants to stop by, and we'll send it out all the time, like once a week. If you're struggling with certain things or whatever the case might be, just keep me in the loop and let me support you in whatever way I can.
Okay, I want to just give a little update on where we're at on technology, just so people can kind of know what's going on with students. We have 1,147 kids ready to go with distance learning. We have 102 with no internet. On the issue of no internet, the district is working on deploying solutions for remote areas of Las Lunas, but we're looking at 10 to 15 days before those remote solutions will be deployed. So if those families have email addresses, phone numbers, that kind of stuff, please be patient with those kids. There is lots of free resources out in the community if kids or families are asking. Xfinity and Comcast has opened up all their hotspots. And so a family just needs to get near a school, like a car in a parking lot, or near an existing Xfinity Comcast hotspot, and they should be able to log on free unlimited from there in the short run. But that's a lot of burden to put on families. So like I said, please be patient. That's why Ms. Jaramillo is saying not to close things, not to be putting in zeros, kind of working through things a little bit at a time.
And Claire, can I also say, just with the zeros, I know some of you had gone in and put zeros in like on the 16th of March. So we need to make sure that we're conscientious about that kind of stuff, because we really haven't had an opportunity to make anything up. So you might want to check on your grades again.
And then I have one more thing to share about the devices. The district is really leaning heavily on the middle school iPads and the high school MacBooks to support students K-12. So if a family has 4 children in school and one of them is a high schooler, they're counting that family as having access. So just beware when you're thinking about how much you assign or what time of day you assign things or make things do, that there may be multiple children in the family sharing one MacBook that is that student's MacBook. It's not like our students have unlimited access to the MacBook we've issued them. They have to share it with their siblings in the district in order to get their siblings' work done also. So I just, please be patient with students. I think at the high school level, I'm going to talk about this more this afternoon. I'm having a Zoom on online learning that's optional. It is by no means required. But if you'd like to join us to discuss the do's and don'ts of online learning, there's 2 kinds of communication. There's synchronous, which is what we're doing right now. We're all talking at the same time. And then there's asynchronous, where we all get on at different times and access stuff. And so I would encourage you that synchronous communication needs to be about 15 minutes or less if you're going to do it. And it needs to be social and optional, because students are working, students are, sharing devices with other students. Younger students are doing more synchronous learning. So we need to go the direction of more asynchronous, independent stuff with teacher videos and that kind of stuff. And Lacey and I are here to help you with that. The other thing you can do is have office hours, but those aren't required at this time. So that's the only updates I have right now. I encourage you to join us for a discussion that's focused just on teaching and learning at 1:30 this afternoon on Zoom.
And be on the lookout for like emails. We're going to be sending out resources when we're going to be providing more tutorial in a sense for online teaching. And so just kind of be on the lookout for those. But also I just want to say, if you need any help or anything, we're here for you. So please call us or email, and we can get on and walk you through some things. So just know that we're here to help you.
Quick interruption.
One more thing that I just saw on the list. If students are having issues with their devices, if a student like contacts you by email or by Remind or by phone call and says they cannot get onto Canvas, their device isn't working, we need you to submit a tech ticket, a work order through the Las Lunas Schools work order system for that student. Make sure you include the student's name, the student's ID number, and the student's contact information. If you're unable to do that, please get with Lacey or myself or Miss Deborah, and we'll give you information on how to submit those tickets. But student technology issues need to be put on a ticket so we can keep track of them and address them. The only exception to that is the remaining 88 families that we're still trying to contact. If you get a hold of one of those 88 families, please update the Google Sheet we've been working off of.
I just want to circle back really quickly. Claire said something about asynchronous learning, and Anne had mentioned office hours with Zoom or Canvas conferencing. Giving your kids the option to optionally check in with you once a week seems like it would be a really effective practice. So saying to students, hey, I'll be on Zoom from 10 a.m. to 10:30 every Monday morning, or whatever the case might be, that might be good for kids who are just wanting to check in, ask questions, ask clarifying questions, just have a human face. I know that they probably miss us. As much as they give us a hard time, they miss us. They want to see us. And so thinking about how do we create an opportunity for them to know that, hey, we're still here, we're still invested in them, it's a good idea. So I want to shout out to Anne, who said that office hours idea is a really good.
And if you have a student that you haven't heard from like in a week, I would encourage you to try and get in contact with them as well. Let's see, are your kids reaching?
And just a reminder, guys, that using this Zoom platform, you can record this, so that way, and I think that we can link it through YouTube on a private link, so that way you can send that to students, so you don't have to information to them, so they can also log on and they can view whatever you're trying to teach them at a later date in time. So I just want to bring that up. Just a couple more things that I have with special services and students with IEP. Now, we still have to service those students during this time. So we are going to need your help with this, because we have progress reports that we need to fill out and get to parents. And since it's going to be hard to access your grades, if we can get that information provided so we can update progress towards goals. So I'd appreciate that as well. And then some of you are teachers that are doing IAES, and so we just need to make sure that they're wanting us to make sure that we're using some type of platform like Zoom, FaceTime, if you have a student to provide services for them as well. And Pat and Joni, you can chime in on this as well if there's something that I missed that we're providing with super split with special services. Ancillary service personnel are also building a calendar so they can provide service for our kids, OT, PT, and etc. So is there anything that I missed there, Pat and Joni?
You'll have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's a lot of feedback. I will send out a way to access the student's IEP again through Power Teacher. I will get that sent out again to teachers.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And if you need help, like with accommodating, modifying assignments you're giving, just email us and we're willing to help. All our teachers are. So just let us know through email. We're checking all day, constantly.
Yeah, Nancy here. I had the 3 teachers I work with add in their announcements that I'm available with my email, and they can contact me whenever they need help.
Okay.
Gary,
Look at our.
go ahead. One other thing, there may be a possibility that we're going to have to hold IEP meetings through Zoom. So depending on how long we're gone from school, some of our IEPs will still need to be conducted, and so that would be another way that teachers would be allowed to participate in the development of that IEP. It will be probably through Zoom, like we're doing now.
And also, Pat, everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. That we as case managers can contact teachers for, goal information or updated present levels of performance and that sort of thing. So to help the teachers give input for the IEPs.
Great, thank you. Can we get in contact info for all APEX students? Jessica, we'll get you, there's a question about APEX students, their contact information. Natalie, we can get that to her. Natalie, we'll get that to you, Jessica, or the APEX teachers.
And Jessica, in the short run, like today and over the weekend and as you need, that sheet that we've been contacting everybody on to find out their technology has their parent email and their phone numbers on it, but we'll get you a cleaner list, but in the short run, you can use that.
We can send a list of staff phone numbers. I can send a staff list of phone numbers if everybody's okay with that. If you don't want your phone number included on our staff list, just email me and I'll make sure that I take it off. I also want to encourage you, this is like, I think, a really great opportunity to meet with your PLC collaborative team. Because when we are starting to assign work to students, it would be nice that all the Algebra 1 teachers are assigning the same assignment and so forth. So this is kind of a perfect example of why we are meeting with our collaborative teams, having this discussion. So it will definitely benefit our students. We're kind of looking through the questions as we're getting them. So if anybody has any other questions that or is anything you want to share with the group, if you feel free to unmute yourself if you would like to share.
Okay, I'd just like to finish sharing the resources that are available.
Okay.
As far as Canvas goes, there's 2 things in your Canvas, Intro to Canvas and Growing with Canvas. I want to let you know those are phenomenal resources. You can work through those, and as you work through those, you can actually be doing the uploading of your actual lessons and your work now in your real classes side by side as you go through those. So those are great training resources if you're struggling with Canvas. Also, as Lacey mentioned, she is available as needed to help you. You can set up stuff with her directly. Our inclusion support coaches, Pat and Joni, just mentioned that they're here to support you. You just need to reach out to them. And then don't forget, we have Tamara and Rose, our digital learning coaches. They'll be putting out Zoom conferences and training over the next week, so watch for those. And then we'll keep sending resources as we get them. And then there's the online Zoom today on the big high-level do's and don'ts of online learning for any platform. And Monday will be specific to Canvas, and I expect that you bring your questions, concerns, what you need help with on Monday.
Claire,
And
can
those are
you just
some
real briefly share with them what, like the online overview of online teaching, just simple things like giving direction and don't assume kids know. So can you just share a couple things just briefly?
So when you're teaching online, you've got to really think about it from the student perspective. Canvas is not our personal file cabinet. Canvas is really a website that students interact with, and you need to organize and think about things from a student perspective. So keep it simple, keep it organized, make sure there's directions on where to go, what to do, exactly what you want. You want to be real clear on that. Less is more. You know, directions should be 250 words or less. Otherwise, you should be putting it in something that they download and deal with separately. This afternoon, I'm just going to go through about 6 or 8 do's and don'ts of, or high-level categories of things to do as you're teaching. It's not a technical one. It's more like the pedagogy of teaching that we're going to share this afternoon. But the big one is make modules and organize them by week.
An email be sent to the district regarding classwork. There's a lot of confusion on social media. So Amy Barnes is asking, will an email be sent to the district regarding classwork? There's a lot of confusion on social media. Well, I think that social media confusion was about the zeros, about giving students zeros. So that was never communicated that we're giving kids zeros. So I'm not sure where that came from. What we said on social media is that the teachers will be providing instruction and that grades will be put into Power School. That was what was communicated. What I'm asking of you is please be flexible and patient, because we're not doing this to flunk kids. We're doing this to provide some education for them in this time of crisis. So that was
I'll come get your size 15 and pack all.
The district, I believe, is going to be sending some information out as far as like the hot spots, where the hot spots are going to be provided. I'm not sure if they are going to send any other information out at this point. So it's extremely important that teachers are providing correct information to parents and students. I see, what if a student doesn't submit any work at all? Well, I mean, you know, I wouldn't put zeros in. I would give them a phone call and see what the deal is. So again, it's not so much about grades, and it's about providing our kids this opportunity during this time. And as far as, so how do we hold students accountable if they do not do any work? The grading periods and all that kind of stuff, that's just up in the air right now. I don't have any answers for you, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's just kind of a, you know, up in the air. I don't have answers for you with that. But like I said, just encourage the students to, you know, to do the work. If they're not, you know, try and communicate with them just as you would if you had them in a classroom. Ms. Flores also has provided assistance if you have a student with contact information from Canvas. Counselors can also assist with that as well. Yeah, the grading periods are just kind of up in the air.
Darian, while you're looking at that really quickly, can I ask this question? So some of this is going to be brought up in that conversation around what are some best practices, and we may have to rethink how, like, what types of assignments we give. What types of assignments we give when we are in class with students is when we're there to explain and to walk them through each step. That's going to look very, very different than if we are online. And I heard Darian say, right now the district is planning as if in case worst case scenario, we don't come back before the end of the school year. And so the level of flexibility and rethinking how we teach and what teaching and learning looks like and what kinds of questions we ask students, this is that moment, which is why it's important that we do it together. We're asking people to do something that no one has ever done before. And so, and that includes our students. And you're not in the room with them to explain the process. So, for example, I was working with a teacher yesterday, and my kids know what to do. My kids know what to do. My kids know what to do. We have to over communicate what the expectations are with clarity. To be clear is to be kind. To be clear is to be kind. So Anthony and I were like, oh shoot, we don't know. I've never Zoomed before. How do we do this? Well, we created a little video, right? And so if we want to get together and show how to create videos together, we can learn this stuff together. Because right now we even apart are kind of all we have in navigating this. And so when I think about, I'm thinking specifically like Jesse who brought up in the comments, G5 is ending here before we get back to work. I agree with you, Jesse. And I appreciate Darian saying those deadlines, they might get shifted, right? What we said at the beginning of the school year, it's kind of blown up right now. So we have to think about how are we engaging students in learning in a way that is humanizing and also still getting them to learn some of the content, knowing that they're not going to understand stoichiometry at the level that they understood stoichiometry, Mr. Kern, because they don't have you in the room and they don't have lab equipment, right? Remember that in terms of what kids have access to at home. You know, this is the perfect moment to think about third base kids. Here are some third base kids, right? And the kids who may not have someone at home helping them unpack grapes that our neighbor gave us, right? Thank you, gentlemen. So anyway, I want to just say something really quickly. Please start thinking about what type of support we want from Tamara and Rose and the ed tech folks. They're planning some Zooms, and specifically at the secondary level, they want to make sure that we are getting what we need. So even if it's something simple like how do I stay connected with student voice, right? Some of us have already been using Flipgrid. Some of us have already been using Canvas discussions or conferences. Please, if you have things that have already been working well for you, know that we haven't all been doing those things, and we would love to learn from you because the answers are in this room, even when we're not physically together. So think about those things.
Is there anything else?
So I have a question. If the school lockdown would be extended, do we have to prepare like lesson plans for those possible weeks that we're gonna be locked down?
Well, I don't know that, but I am assuming so. Yes, that's why we are setting these procedures up right now, because if it does go into a lockdown and we have to provide instruction, that's the whole purpose of us getting prepared right now. Testing. There was a testing question. We haven't heard anything about testing yet. We're just waiting on that. I did get an email about AP testing. AP testing, they're looking at allowing the students to take the test at home. So again, just kind of stay tuned. There's just so much that, I mean, this is all kind of like transpired in a week. And so it just, as we get information, we will definitely share it to you. So Valerie just said, President just announced that at the federal level, standardized tests would not be required. But we haven't heard anything from the state yet. So until we hear directly from our PED, I'm assuming they, I'm assuming they would not require state testing if we weren't here. Oh, and we haven't been here, so.
Darian, there was a question about what day a week we want the lesson plans turned into for the next week. When do we want to collect those?
So we have collected lesson plans for 2 weeks is what you had, were supposed to have turned in to us. So, I mean, we're good until April 6th. If you could have the lesson plans to us, and this is if we are staying out for another amount of time. Like I said, we have lesson plans through April 3rd. If we're out again, if you could have them to us like by Wednesdays of the prior week, that would be good. So like April 1st, we would need your lesson plans for the following week. Is there anything else?
If I could just say real quick about National Honor Society, I've gotten a lot of parents who can't get in touch with me just because, well, I don't have their information. So I know that they've been reaching out to teachers. If it's possible for you teachers to let those students know who have reached out to you, that of course we'll extend the deadline. I don't know the deadline until we get back. So if you could just let them know to just hang on and we'll take care of them. Thanks.
I like Mr. McKinney's comment. Most folks probably are more worried about meeting basic needs than schoolwork. I'm here as a support for students if they have math questions, still working on a plan to communicate. Yeah, that's true. I actually, this morning, Roberta had called a student about him, and he, number one, doesn't have internet access, and number two, his dad lost his job, and so this particular student is working 40 hours a week to make ends meet for their family. So again, we're talking about zeros and them not turning work in or whatever. I'm asking you to be patient and flexible with that, and just keep in mind that there's families that are dealing with other things besides school at this time. And the other, well, I say and after, and why couldn't we be home like the teachers? And I got home that night and was listening to the news, and that was when the governor said that malls are closing and fitness places are closing and bars and restaurants and those kinds of things are closing, and these people are out of work and don't have income. And I stepped back and told myself to quit whining and just be grateful that for the job that I have, and that I'm here to help kids. I'm here to help teachers. I'm receiving a paycheck. You're receiving a paycheck. I get to come to work in sweats every day, and just to quit whining and just be grateful for what I have. And I have my health, I have my family, and I have all of you. And so I just encourage you just to, take a deep breath, and we're going to get through this like any other time. And just, we're here for you, and we'll do what we can to help you.
Thank you.
So, were you able to get that? Let's see, Mike Powers. Like I put in zeros for assignments that were due before spring. Are you able to see them? See my, this is, I thought this was funny. These are just different things that you see, on social media that were just, I just try and laugh, and I made a little screenshot for, just to let you know, parents are so appreciative of teachers right now because they're seeing what it's like to be teachers. And there's always some funny homeschool day one, homeschool day two. And if anything comes out of this, as far as teachers, parents will definitely appreciate you a whole heck of a lot more than they did before. So this is just something to put a smile on your face and keep you laughing during this time. Is there anything else, anybody? Then we'll go ahead and just plan on meeting again next Thursday at 10 a.m. We'll send you out an invite through email for you to log on, and I guess that's it. We'll sign off, and everybody have a wonderful weekend. And thank you so much for what you do for our kids.
Thank you, Darian, and all admin staff.
Thanks, dude.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Be safe.
Bye, guys. Wash your hands.
Be healthy.
Hey, Captain Headland, are you still here? You asked a question about Remind. So are you not on Darian's Remind when she sends stuff out? Are you not on that?
Never got on that
Okay.
one.
Okay. So this is what you need to do.
Okay.
You need to go to, you can just go to your text message if you like. You're going to send the message to this number.
Okay.
Are you doing it?
Yep.
Where you at?
On right now.
81010.
81010.
And you're going to text is, you're going to text at
Okay.
LLHS STAF. And I'll take
That's
a
all
screen.
one word?
It's all one word, at LLHS STAF. It's like LLHS staff, but with only one F.
Okay. In fact, I'm going to do that right now.
Lacey, we might want to send that out.
Yeah,
Can you
gonna
send that out?
I'm going to send that out. I just took a screenshot of the how-to, and then I'll also create a little video on how to create a Remind if folks are wanting to do Remind from their phones.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we
gosh,
had
it's
it
good to
before I got to the point where it was so big that I couldn't do it. We used it with my cadets, and then they started wanting to charge us a fee for it once you get over 150. All right. Number.
You can separate different classes so that you can do like 50, 50, 50. That's what I do with my psych. So I have 3 psych classes and 3 English classes so that you wind up not getting charged.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, we make small groups.
Yeah.
Miss Mays, I forgot to recognize your newsletter. I loved that.
Yay!
It totally warmed my heart. It made me laugh. Thank you, Val.
Val, you should send it to the whole staff because it's kind of amazing.
Awesome. I can do that. And we'll get some kid ones and send those too when they start coming in. I'm excited to see what we get.
Cool. Thank you.
Got an A on that assignment.
I want to recognize Brandy Snelson. She called through all the parents we were unable to contact 3 times in the last couple days. She probably cleared 100 kids off the unable to contact list that advisors were having trouble getting to. So I just want to give a big shout out to Miss Snelson.
Yeah, I forgot to do that. I'm sorry. I should have done that. Okay, I think some people signed off, but we're the ones that are like, okay, we could just look at each other. It's lonely here at school without anybody. All right, everybody, we'll see you later.
All right, be safe.
Bye. Please.